Over the years, Hello Kitty has had some very interesting collaborations. She's been on Crocs, in Super Mario Maker, has a Tamagotchi, and even managed to have her very own Beyblade. Hello Kitty, and Sanrio as a whole for that matter, seem to be a magnet for crossovers. Sanrio thrives on licensing out their characters, so it's no wonder that they are always mingling with different companies and products. Honestly, at this point, I could tell you that Hello Kitty had a crossover with missile manufacturers, and you'd probably think, not too surprised. But luckily, we're not talking about the inevitable Hello Kitty nuclear bomb collab. No, instead we're going to look at the Hello Kitty vs. Gundam mini anime. This collab popped up as a celebration of both the Gundam 40th anniversary and the Hello Kitty 45th anniversary. It's a total of 3 episodes released between March 29th, 2019 to January 15th, 2020. Why it took that long to release all 3 teeny tiny episodes, I really have no clue. And when I say tiny, I really mean it. Each episode is about 2 minutes long, making this a very short watch, even if you put all 3 episodes together as one singular animation. Before we jump into the anime, I want to give a disclaimer that I have almost zero knowledge of Gundam. I know this guy is called Zaku too because I played some Gundam Evolution back when that was a thing, but that's about it. I also know that this Gundam is the very famous boy that I always see as the sort of face of Gundam in general. Anyways, on with the animation. It starts off lighthearted and relaxing as Kitty is in her world and getting ready for a banger of a tea party. But then the TV suddenly starts alerting her to save Amuro and begins playing some killer 80s Gundam action on the screen. Kitty is dumbstruck by the violence she's witnessing and urges everyone on the TV to just be friends. Amuro shows up on the screen and starts crying as he watches a massive ship explode into nothing. Sadly, but also adorably, this makes little Kitty cry as well, and she goes full friendship mode, storming out of the house and promising that she's going to help Amuro. With a pretty dang slick transition, we cut over to Amuro going to town on some Gundam. I gotta say, this animation is really damn good looking. Both the Kitty and the Gundam style, but especially the Gundam style. After Amuro is done murking a couple gun dummies, he looks over to see some new threat appearing right next to him. Only it's not a threat, it's frickin' Kitty, looking like a Macy's Day Parade balloon. That's the end of the first episode, but it does pick up in the exact same spot as you jump over to episode 2. So likely they just made the whole animation and then cut it up into 3 separate episodes for some reason. Episode 2 begins with Kitty explaining who she is to Amuro, but obviously it all goes over his head and he assumes she's some new miniature high-tech suit. He asks her affiliation, and Kitty lets him know that she's just here to help him and his enemies become friends. Amuro says that it's pointless and that she needs to leave if she's not going to fight. Before the conversation can continue, a couple of baddies boost towards the two for an old-fashioned space scuffle. Amuro takes out the 2 Zakus, but the Gelgoog survives and takes a shot that goes straight at Mega Kitty. This is where episode 2 ends, but I will say I love the ending frame right here. It kinda looks like Kitty is nonchalantly going Super Saiyan. At the start of our last episode, Kitty is struck by the massive blast from episode 2, is what I would say if she didn't have the power of love to deflect the shot. Her love powers even extend out to the Gelgoog who shot at her and envelop it, turning it into a chibi version of its former self. This new Gelgoog is all about the peaceful life, wanting to be friends with both Kitty and Amuro. Amuro isn't about that though. Instead, he's more insanely flabbergasted at Kitty's power, as he should be. She just deflected a blast from a massive space mech and then physically altered the mech's appearance and attitude. That has to make her like one of the most powerful beings in the Gundam franchise, right? Amuro books it the hell out of there in fear of Kitty's power, but she pursues, just wanting to help make everything happier and peaceful. The chase has some lovely animation and music playing, and Kitty even converts some Gundam to her friendship cause along the way. When Kitty catches up to Amuro, they have a genuinely beautiful moment where Kitty explains that they can stop the war if they use both of their powers to work together. The moment is outstandingly done well, and the music during it is really great. I assume it's some track from one of the original Gundam series because it's a vintage sounding gentle bop. I can't play it here in fear of the copyright goblins getting me, but trust that it's a fantastic tune. After the heartwarming moment, Amuro agrees with Kitty. He knows that she is his only hope to bring peace to a brutal war. So they head off together to begin their friendship flight into a world of turmoil, and the show is concluded. Being 100% honest, this went way harder than I was expecting. The different animation styles worked well to differentiate the worlds, and the animation in general was very impressive. I don't know if I'm just easily impressed because I don't watch a ton of newer anime, but I feel like the animators popped it into overdrive when making this. It also would kind of make sense for them to go nuts on it because it's only 6 to 7 minutes of animation, so they could go all out and not have a ton of work on their hands. The music and cute little story was well made, and everything just kind of molded into an amazing mini animation. The only thing I wish they changed was having it as 3 separate episodes. They probably did it for a total view increase or as a way for both Sanrio and Sunrise to release an episode on their own avenues for more exposure, but I think it just makes a lot more sense to release something this small all at once. Even finding the separate episodes was a little annoying, but I mean, besides that, I was caught off guard by how hard this slapped. The crossover doesn't completely stop there though. No, we still have the model kits and figures to look at. 4 Gunpla model kits were released for Kitty. The RX-78, Zaku 2, Char Zaku 2, and finally a kittified version of Haro. These are your classic plastic snap-together model kits, but now you have Kitty in on the fun. To no one's surprise, the kits sold out everywhere, as everyone desperately needed that Hello Kitty Gundam collaboration action. I should note there was also a clear version of the Kitty RX-78, which was only available through pre-order. 2 collectible figures came out for the collaboration too. These aren't figures to build and are meant to just plop on a shelf to look sweet. The RX-78 and Char Zaku 2 were the versions made for these collectibles, but they're built in more of a Hello Kitty style rather than a typical Gundam frame. They also have this cute little pilot suit kitty that sits either on the side of the Gundam or can be put inside the cockpit of the Gundam. I gotta say, this crossover as a whole is a massive win in my books. We got an amazing mini animation and some high quality figures / Gunpla kits. This is what happens when 2 very passionate companies get together to make something awesome for the sake of it being awesome rather than for the sake of money. Now I want to hear from you gals and guys. Have you already seen this great little animation, or do you now plan to? Or maybe you're one of the many Gundamaniacs out there who love all things Gundam and are now chomping at the bit to get yourself a Hello Kitty Gunpla kit. Either way, I love hearing from everyone. I read every comment and respond to most. Thank you so much for watching the video, and hey, if you enjoyed it, a like and subscription help out a ton, plus they're free. So long.